what's up, my dudes? It's me, Wrigley. I'm back again this Sunday, and as you can see, I don't have another cover or an original song or anything like that. So I thought, just what should I record for today? And I was scrolling through my YouTube feed, and I came upon Evan Edinger's video, 27 books I read this 2017. So I was like, that's a good idea. Maybe I should do the same thing, but with recommendations and ratings for the books and that kind of stuff. So here I am. This will be a books I read 2017 and recommendations. So the first book I have is If I Stay by Gail Forman. Now, I picked up this book because I just didn't have anything to read, and people were like raving about this book. I've heard many good things, so I was like, okay, I'll read this, I'll give it a try, and oh my gosh, it was such a good book. So basically, I'm gonna give like a little non-spoiler description. It's about this girl who goes through an event in her life, and she this is so hard to think of a non-spoiler description for this book, because it's just so this girl goes through this very traumatic event in her life where she is put into this state where she is not awake. Basically, she's in a coma. That's not really a spoiler for the book. And she kind of has to like watch around her, everybody and their reactions, and she has to decide if she will stay or die. So it's very dramatic. It's so good. I would give this definitely a 4.5 out of 5. Like really close to 5 out of 5 stars. This was an amazing book. I'd say this is like, if you're looking for like a medium read, like you don't want to really commit to something, but like it's so good. It's so good. You should only read this one too. Don't read Where She Went. That's the sequel. Just don't pick it up. It's terrible. I couldn't even finish it. That's why it's not even on this list. But this is so good. So good. So, next book is It Gets Worse by Shane Dawson. It's this book. I picked up this book. I read it twice this year, actually. I got it for Christmas last year. I read it at the beginning of this year, and then my friend gave it back to me after borrowing it, so I was like, I'm not really reading anything right now. I'll read it again. And I did, and it's a very good book. It's a very quick read, very short. You could probably finish this out in a few days to a week. It's really quick. It's basically just essays of moments from his life. It's really good. It's a nonfiction. So it has like lots of life lessons and nice stories. It's heartwarming, but there are some moments in here where you're like kind of cringing to yourself. I'd definitely give this a 4 out of 5 stars. It's good. Next book is Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. So, this is actually the second book in the series, by the way. I read the first one last year. Then I picked up the second one earlier this year, I'd say spring. It's about, if you don't know what Harry Potter is, you've obviously been living under a rock. Sorry, that was my cat. But yeah, you've been living under a rock. It's about a boy who goes to this school for wizards, and he learns all this magic and stuff, and there's an evil wizard. It's really good. It's a really good series. well, I shouldn't say it's like an amazing series. I didn't finish it. So this book in particular is, it's really good. I picked up this book because obviously I read the first one. It's a longer read because it's a series of 7 books. Or no, 6. 7? 6? 7. 7, right. And it's a good book itself. I'd give this one 3.5 out of 5 stars. Because it loses your attention, but then it gets your attention, but then it loses it. You know, it's just kind of back and forth. Along with that is the 3rd book in the series, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Again, I've already given a description for the series, by the way. I spilled slime on this. So if you're wondering what that black stuff is, it's black slime. I spilled slime in my bag. It got on the cover of this book, but luckily it didn't ruin any pages or anything. This book in particular, I'd give it a 4 out of 5 stars. It's a little better than the last one. After the 3rd one, I actually read part of the 4th one. I have the 4th one right here. Part of it, I probably got maybe this far. It's such a repetitive series. I think the series has such an amazing, like, rating, has raving reviews. I like the movies better. Unpopular opinion. But, like, the books are so repetitive that it's literally the same thing for 5 books. And then the 6th, a little less repetitive. And then the 7th, I've heard, is not repetitive. This is all stuff I've heard, by the way. I haven't read them, obviously, because I dropped it. It didn't keep my attention, and I had other books to read. So, I didn't count that one, because I didn't finish it. Next book is Dodie's Secrets for the Mad. I actually read this one recently, because, you know, I got it for my birthday, and I knocked this one out in about a week and a half, because I'm not a very fast reader. You could probably read this in like 4 days if you're a pretty good reader. So this is like a very short read, but it's an amazing one. It's a nonfiction about Dodie, and if you know Dodie the YouTuber, then you know her. It talks about her mental health problems, which is really early on in the book. It has these amazing drawings. I'll give you a little snippets. She includes stuff about her song, and her songs, I should say. And I just thought that this was such a nice, heartwarming, but also like very informative book. Definitely a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed this one. Like, really, because I love Dodie Clark, like the singer and the YouTuber, but no, she is the author. So, it's very nice. The illustrations are great. The next book I have here is Paper Towns by John Green. It was the second John Green book I've read. I read The Fault in Our Stars. Absolutely loved it. Second favorite book of all time. It's amazing. Paper Towns, it was okay. It's this story about a boy who meets a girl, and the girl runs away, and the boy tries to find her. It has some creepy parts that really grab your attention, and then it has just parts where you're kind of like just sitting there reading, you know, waiting for the exciting parts to happen. And the road trip part of the book, if you've read it, was just the best part of the book by far. All the rest I felt was like filler, you know? It's okay. I've never hated like a character, Margot, more. Like, she's basically a main character, other than Quentin, yeah, that guy. She is the girl that runs away. She is so annoying in this book. I have yet to see the movie. She's just very, like, you get so angry with her because she's so attention-seeking. I'd give this book 3 out of 5 stars. It's okay. If it's the first John Green book you've read, I'd say go ahead, read it. But, you know, it's okay. Yeah, it didn't live up to my expectations for The Fault in Our Stars, you know? Because The Fault in Our Stars, my expectations were set so high because that book was so amazing. And then this book came, and it was like, okay. It's a nice story, but it's not a very great book, if I could say that. Then, oh my gosh, this book is amazing. This is such an unknown book, but it's such a great one. Oh my gosh, it's called Everyone's an Alien When You're an Alien Too, by Johnny's son. Jonathan's son. Obviously, you can see it's, like, misspelled on the cover, because that's how the book is. All the words are, like, a little jumbled, a little misspelled. I picked up this book going into it blind. I saw it in Barnes & Noble, and I was like, oh, this has a cute alien on the front. It's in the graphic novel section. I'll pick it up. I'll read it. It looks like it'll be a nice, fun, lighthearted story. No, it's not a lighthearted story. It goes into existentiality and, like, the meaning of the world and what is life, and it made me cry. I've read it 3 times this year since I got it. It's so amazing. It's my favorite book of all time. It's a very short read because, as you can see, most of the pages are just dialogue like this and little drawings. And you get so attached to characters that just warm your heart. It's so nice, and all the characters kind of have their own, like, little issue, something like that. I'd definitely give this a 5 out of 5 stars. Definitely go pick it up. It's so great. You're gonna love it. I promise you. The next book I read this book because I was forced to read something over the summer in camp. So I read this. It's called Spy Force in Search of the Time and Space Machine. The cover. It's not a very nice cover, right? It's a great book. It's an actually great book. It's meant for, like, aimed toward the 5th graders, 6th graders, you know. It's like a smaller reading level than what I'm used to reading. But it's a really good story, and it, like, really holds your attention and makes you want to keep reading for how short of a book it is. It's a very quick read. I definitely, it's a very good book. I'd definitely give this 4.5 out of 5 stars. It's a nice, really nice book, and I wasn't expecting it from something I was being forced to read, so it's very good. Next is Ernest Hemingway's A Moveable Feast. It's a good story. It's actually a classic. So I picked it up at Half Price Books because I was looking for like novels to read. You know, I was trying to really get into Ernest Hemingway and Edgar Allan Poe, which I love. Ernest Hemingway's books, they're aimed toward a different demographic than, like, a teenage girl. But it was very good. It was very good to read. It's about his life in Paris in the 20s, the 1920s. So you can imagine it's like set back a long time ago. Things are different in Paris. Lifestyles are different, and it kind of makes you see into, like, a different world, which is, it's weird because it's the same world, the world that we live in, but it was so long ago. It was 90 years ago. So I would definitely give this a I'd give this a 3 out of 5 stars. I enjoyed reading it, but there were points where it kind of dragged on, in a sense, you know? It's not a lot of dialogue and a lot of just writing about what's going on. So, there. And I have the last book. By the way, these aren't all the books I've read. These are the books I own that I've read. There are other books that I've read that are really good, but I don't own them, so I can't show them off. That kind of stuff. So, the last book here is Dan and Phil Go Outside. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wrigley, a YouTuber book? Why? Why are you showing this? If you're a fan of Dan and Phil, you're really going to enjoy this book. It's very fandom-based. I'll say that. And it's all pictures. It's all pictures from their tour, that kind of stuff. Ooh, spoilers. And, like, little descriptions of, like, what's going on in the pictures. But it's basically a book about, like, what their tour was like and, like, what going on a tour is like. So they have described that with photos, because they took a ton of photos. I actually got this for Christmas. My mom knows I love Dan and Phil, so she picked this up for me, and I was really happy to get it, and I loved reading it. It's a very quick read. You definitely have to be in the fandom to understand what's going on, but it's really good. I'll give it a 3.5 out of 5 stars, just because not everybody can read it. Like, it's only kind of the fandom that can, like, really appreciate this. But it's very nice. It's very nice to read. That's all that I have for today. Sorry I don't have another cover. I've been working really hard on my act for the talent show, which I don't want to make a cover for that because I'm waiting until after the talent show, which is in February, early February, February 2nd, to post that cover so the act isn't ruined, if you know what I mean. So if you like this video, you can like. If you like, you can click the little subscribe button down below. Yeah. You can leave a comment recommending me books. If you've read any of these books, what you thought. I'd really love to hear your opinions. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!